All right, so I just had another good night after a long drought. So, comes out if you keep on going on this fantasy baseball showdowns. And I wanted to show you my little formula I got here that gets me some cash every once in a while. These are all the numbers I use and everything. But there you go. And now this future hasn't been put in yet because this is done with a simulation. So we gotta look at these sim numbers over here. Let me get on over here to the simulator, and it says here the game has been simulated 601 times. Let's see if we can't reload this. 700 times. All right. But when it gets to about half an hour before actual game time, that'll go up to like 800 or maybe 1,000. So you want to get as many sims as you can. So I don't fill this part of my report out yet. That's to be done. And let me look at the game here real quick. I have 2 hours 36 minutes, so there's plenty of time. But this is a game. I think it's a playoff game. I don't like I said, I don't watch any of this stuff, but it's a playoff game between LA and San Francisco, and all you need to do is look at these numbers, and there's certain spots you can find this stuff at. First number we're looking at here is I call it Weather X. It's a weather effect, and they run a bunch of games with the same kind of conditions and come up with these numbers. On this one, you can see it's kind of a frown, I guess. I can't see down there. A frown for that number. Home runs. Runs is not a frown, not a smile, just kind of eh. And the ERA is definitely a frown. Now, these are very small numbers. You can't really get anything from it. But the numbers tell me the leadoff hitter will come into play. Now the conditions are an outwind, 11 miles an hour, and left-handed batters will be hitting with the wind. Then another number you see there is the Vegas projected totals, 385. I got a check next to that. This next one's VMI is Visual Memory Index, and that's how each team's seeing the ball. You really want a plus number over 5, but we don't have any of that here. We got these guys not seeing the ball too good. LA Dodgers are seeing the ball just a little bit shittier than San Francisco. This next number is Team WOBA, and then WOBA is the number that we use mostly for fantasy, not batting average, not on-base percentage, but the WOBA number, and I don't know what that is. Walks, it's about batting average. I don't know what that is, but it's a number I've been using for a long time. The team WOBA is 398. It's in favor of the Dodgers. Then you got the individual WOBAs down here. And you can see here that, just looking at the numbers, I got the little check mark. And this is the past that I've done against a certain pitcher. You got your plate IQ numbers here. This is key here. LA Dodgers got 5 players in the 50s, 2 players in the 40s, and 1 player that has 0. A good number for these is anything over 60. So nobody's really hitting the ball good, which tells you something. Best player IQ guy is bats with a 56. Like I said, anything over 60 is green. This here would be a real light green, and this here is red. This is key on the plate IQ. San Francisco's got 4 players in the 40s and 4 in the 30s. San Francisco's not looking good on the player IQ. We gave the IQ to LA Dodgers. And then last, we got a present category, and that's based on hits / the amount of bats. That's the last 7 days. And here you can tell you, these guys got no home runs. But we got some home runs on this side, which gives you a nice little edge over there. And like I said, Sim will be last, and that'll tell me the amount of home runs, who's hitting the home runs, and everything else. But right now, it's looking like a little bit of a pitcher's game. We're going to put in some starting pitchers and maybe some relievers. And in this game here, on September 9th, my stats are telling me that Betts is the person to have for some reason I got him all. He's got 3 home runs off this pitcher. And his plate IQ, he's really good too. He's a top player there, so Betts might be my captain. But I'm just showing you what's going on here. Like I said, I might give you a little look here when we get the sim results in, but it's still a couple hours until game time. And this is what it's all about, crunching these numbers. And there's all kinds of charts where I get these numbers from, but I put them down here and give you kind of a zoom-in focus, but just go through these numbers and find out who's up. But had a good night last night. It's been swing and miss. You'll get something maybe once every. If you get something once every month, that's good. But if you can get a significant win every couple months, and mine wasn't significant. I think it probably just maybe broke me even from what I've been doing in the last month. But the money does come in, and hopefully you can hopefully you can hit a home run. But I'll let you know. That's it from the Fantasy Daily table. All right, a little bit more about these numbers. BMI, like I said, is the way they're seeing the ball, and that's mostly the conditions. And if you had something like a -7, oh man, the pitcher that was facing those guys with a -7 would be really good to start. But if they're +5 or 7, if they're +7, they're seeing the ball real good. You want their hitters. Now this WOBA is based on how they're doing against a certain pitcher. I think I did say that, but it might have went by real quick in the last video. Plate IQ is also versus a certain pitcher. And with this hot last 7 days, it's the playoffs, so you're not getting a bunch of numbers as you would in the regular season. They're really small, but still it tells you who's on and who's off. So just wanted to make those points. We're still waiting, and we'll see what's up. Building lineups for DraftKings Showdown. And I'm going to see it real quick. I'll let you guys see full contest details. And here's the payouts. First place. I was 0 point. I was a tenth of a point away from a top prize last night. I came in second, and I think I had to split the money. But yeah, and it wasn't a first place. I think first place in my game was 5,000. It wasn't this big, but it's a nice one. I always like to play the nice ones. But there you go. We're off and running. All right, now sim results. This is key. Like I said, we're going to wait here a little bit, but they'll tell you. You can read that real quick. Press pause, and here I'm going to hit this little thing over here. It says show totals. I don't want to see the averages. I want to see totals. And here you go. I go by this number right here. So far, this thing here is telling me that Justin Turner is going to be hitting all runs tonight. They simulated the game a certain amount of times, and he's the one that's and it's just a sim. But I'm telling you what, this simulated result gets them more right than not. And that's if you could bet on games. If I was able to do that in my state, I would do it. But let's look over here. This is the San Francisco hitters. And there ain't much going on there. Top home run guy will be Chris Bryant. There you go. Just thought I'd give you a little drop in. That's how it's done. If you're interested in daily fantasy. All right, hold on a second. Hit the button, and now I got a cough. I'll be right back. Voice is ready to go. All right, now on this you'll see, looks like an LA game. Projected total, Team WOBA, plate IQ, whoever's hot, hitting more home runs than these guys over here, and then we'll go to the sim results to see what goes on there. And I just showed you the sim, but right now we're looking at a pitcher's game. The LA Dodgers pitcher, I think Urias or whatever his name is, he'll probably be my captain in a lot of my lineups. And we're looking at Mookie Betts, but tonight we're thinking that our LA Dodgers is going to pull it off, mostly because they're pitching. Look at strikeouts. It's always good to get both pitchers on there because they're all those numbers in these showdown games. The key thing is we can find some obscure player down at the bottom of the list that's cheap that can hit a home run, and then fit in a couple both pitchers and some relievers. He might be doing good, but it all depends. It looks like a pitcher's game, and who's going to do it? I got Betts as my player. Then we'll start picking somebody else out of here. Chris Taylor came through with a pinch hit the other night. Won some guy about $30,000. So that's how it goes, people. If you ain't playing fantasy, you're getting into it. And the thing of it is, if you're going to play to win, because there are sharks out there. We're all doing it. Be back.